Watch what's approaching, the supreme moment. Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead, it's for the taking if you want it. If not, the dream dies and you'll be forever haunted. Then confront it.
What's good? So a brand new unit has come out with the ability to stack attack and defense. So of course we are going to the Zamasu stage so we can bully the guy a little bit. So the free-to-play units, both of them, Kid Broly and also Kid Vegeta and Kid Raditz, are very, very good free-to-play units. They surprisingly have a lot of usefulness to them. Of course, from outside of a traditional showcase, I love to do these Kaioken mechanic tests where you basically stack up the attack or defense and see how high those numbers actually get based on the Dokkan event here, which is the Rose Dokkan event stage 1, I believe. But Zamasu actually has like 99 million HP, so it does take quite a while to get this guy's HP depleted. So I do like to test this out on the stage for those that are pretty much new to the channel. That's kind of like a little bit colored to the format. But Kid Broly does have the ability to raise attack and defense as part of the super attack, as well as a medium chance of stunning the enemy. Also, you know, definitely some usefulness with the passive skills as well. But the focus will be on, you know, the stack effect and whatnot on this video. So the Kid Vegeta and Kid Raditz unit are also very, very interesting in the ability in terms of the super attack, you know, ability to raise attack as well, but also the built-in passive skill is also very good. And if you have, you know, the Pure Saiyans category allies on rotation or attacking turn, you get an attack and defense increase 20%. And a chance of performing at 10%. So that's for every Pure Saiyan category ally on the rotation. In addition to that, if you have a Joined Forces category ally attacking in the same turn, you actually have a guaranteed additional attack with a high chance of becoming a super attack. So with that being said, I definitely brought in the Paragus and Broly unit because not only does it fall within that criteria, but the unit's also a very good supporting type unit. So for this particular test, I wanted to include both Broly as well as the Vegeta and Raditz unit on the same rotation just to make, you know, kind of the testing a little bit easier. But I definitely plan on doing another test with just the Kid Vegeta and Kid Raditz unit, basically because I want to maintain Paragus and Broly on the same rotation with them to get that guaranteed additional attack with a high chance to get a super attack. So I feel like that's going to be a quicker way to stack up the attack, and I think it's worthwhile to test that out because honestly, even with level 15 additionals, you know, they definitely did get a few additionals from that, additional super attacks from that. But I think by pairing the unit up with the Paragus and Broly unit every rotation, I think is going to make the stack effect that much higher. So again, I'll probably run another test strictly on that unit just to see how high those attack stats can get. But with, you know, at the same time, with this testing period, these guys were actually able to get pretty high numbers, and it was pretty intense. It was actually a lot of fun to run them both at the same time. So I definitely did have a good time running both of them on the same rotation. Again, you saw this earlier. I did keep both of them fully focused on additional attack at level 15. I did give them level 5 for critical hits just because I did want some crits to activate. Vegeta and Raditz, I didn't worry so much about it because they do have built-in mechanics for the ability to get crits based on, you know, the Pure Saiyans allies on the rotation. But Kid Broly's a little bit different. You know, you don't have a built-in crit chance on the passive skill. It's more or less, you know, he has a medium chance of evading enemies' attack. Also, the ability to recover 20% HP by delivering the final blow. So those are pretty much the, you know, the marquee highlights of the unit. Disabling the enemy's guard is also pretty nice. I think both of these units do get a pretty decent attack and defense boost as part of their you know, standalone passive. Both of them do get 70% for both attack and defense, so that definitely does help in terms of their abilities. But you can quickly see how high their attack stats are getting. I mean, easily 1 million plus, and you know, you'll end up seeing once the super attack activates, Vegeta especially will get a couple of million, I think, at this point already. And we're not even close to being done at this point. So let me give you another explanation as to why I always tend to pick the Rose Dokkan event versus the Super Saiyan 3 Broly one. So for those that don't know, and maybe a lot of you guys probably already know, but the Tech Super Saiyan 3 Broly Dokkan event does have a pretty much invincible Broly unit on, I think it was the second battle, where you have Paragus and Broly as enemies. The reason why I like to choose this one over that one is because Broly has amazing defense to where, you know, your super attacks aren't going to reflect kind of like an accurate number. It's going to be far less because of the, you know, what was it, defense percentage increase or damage reducing ability. I forgot which one it was, but the numbers are quite low, and because of that, I tend to run this event a lot more frequently than the other one, because again, it's just, for me, it's a lot more enjoyable to see the actual numbers of damage applied versus just basing it off of an attack stat. But both events you can actually KO the enemy. Broly, you can certainly do that. It will take a lot more time, but both of them can be done. I've tested them already, so I know for a fact they can be defeated. But you know, again, that's pretty much the only reason why I tend to run this event versus the other one, because it's just, you know, you're able to see the actual damage output versus just sticking with the attack stats. So what was it? Looks like 4 whatever million with the attack stats and hitting for about 8.7, and you got the built-in additional attack and high chance to get the super attack. So a lot of damage can be applied just in one rotation at this point. I do really enjoy the skill sets that they created for both units. I think it's very, very useful, not just for, you know, free-to-play players, but also a combination of both, where, you know, players like us, you know, will use a combination of free-to-play with summonable units and have a pretty good team overall. So they definitely do have very nice skill sets to where it's beneficial in terms of, you know, a variety of settings. I can see them being pretty good in longer battle settings, like especially Broly, where you're able to actually stack up the defense. I can see a lot of value with that. Kid Vegeta and Raditz, they can certainly be pretty good. I think they're going to be more or less heavy hitters in, you know, longer battle settings, since they can only stack up attack. But I think defensively, that 70% will certainly help. And if you're running a team with, you know, like pure Saiyans mostly, you do get an additional 40% toward defense just from having them on the same rotation. So a lot of beneficial value in both units. They do fall into a few categories, but I think they'll probably perform best on, you know, pure Saiyans obviously, but also maybe with the youth category. But I would certainly prefer to run the pure Saiyans category over that one, honestly. What's also interesting about the Kid Vegeta and Raditz unit is they actually fall into the Conquest of Terror category. So, you know, you can see a lot of boosting from that category team because of, you know, link skills like Thirst for Conquest is 15% toward attack, and pretty much all units that fall in that category will have that. And on top of that, you have very good supporting units on that rotation between not rotation, but on the team with the Conquest of Terror and Transformation Boost. So a lot of fun units to pick from. So we are getting close to the end, and I think this is pretty much the last segment here. They pretty much topped off. It's well past the 99 turn limit, so we're actually going to test out how high we can actually get the attack stats based on some items used. So I pretty much reserved all the items up until this point, so we'll boost it by 25% with the future Bulma item, and then the other Bulma item will be another 25%. And then you'll have the Monica costume for changing the key type spheres into intelligence type, and then you can get an extra 5% boost based on that. And then, you know, we'll stack up Broly's defense that way, and then we'll have the other what was it, the Chile item that converts it into agility type, and you'll get 5% extra for every agility key obtained. So we'll try and see how high these attack stats can get to. And you know, I'm banking on the Vegeta and Raditz to get those three super attacks in to apply as much damage as possible. I did wait on the right rotation, basically making sure that Powergas and Broly were on the rotation to, you know, increases the chances of Vegeta getting up to 3 super attacks. So, you know, 7.4 million with the Broly unit. Obviously, it's going to be a lot less than Vegeta, but you know, normal attack with 5.3 million. That is pretty ridiculous right there. And then 26 million without the crit. Unfortunately, the additional super didn't activate at all whatsoever, so that's pretty much the point. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. As always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later.